Man, I don't know about you, but races like the one we just watched keep the whole NASCAR world buzzing for days. Because sometimes it isn't only about who takes the win. Sometimes it's about the drama that spills out after the checkered flag. The kind of drama that gets drivers talking, teams irritated, and fans going back and forth all week long. And right now, the NASCAR garage is on fire. You can feel it in every interview, every radio clip, and every post-race comment. Something went down during Sunday's race at Phoenix that has multiple drivers speaking up, questioning a move that totally changed the outcome and wrecked several teams' days. And now people inside the garage are actually asking NASCAR to step in and take a hard look at it. But that's not the only major storyline coming out of Phoenix. Because while this controversy is blowing up behind the scenes, the championship picture in the Cup Series just shifted in a really interesting way. And the points battle is starting to form a whole lot earlier than most people expected this season. So today, we've got two big NASCAR stories to break down. One involves a massive controversy that has drivers heated, and the other could quietly shape the championship fights. And trust me, both of them are going to matter a lot for the rest of this season. But before we jump into it, if you're a real NASCAR fan who follows the sport every week, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Racing Report is brand new, and our first goal is hitting 3,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy honest NASCAR conversations like this, you're in the right place. Alright, let's start with the moment that has the entire NASCAR garage talking right now. The crash at Phoenix Raceway. If you watch the race, you know the exact moment we're talking about. Things were already getting tense out there. Phoenix is one of those tracks where track position means everything. Drivers are battling for every inch, and the longer a run goes, the faster patience disappears. And then it happened. Joey Logano made an aggressive move in traffic trying to grab position in a tight pack of cars. But that move didn't just impact one driver. It set off a chain reaction that ended up collecting multiple cars and completely flipping the day for several teams. In an instant, what was already a heated race turned into pure chaos. Several drivers got swept up in the wreck, including Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and Josh Berry, and all of them took serious damage. For those teams, their day was basically over right there. And when the drivers got back to the garage after the race, you could feel the frustration immediately. One of the loudest voices about the whole situation was Ross Chastain. And if you follow NASCAR closely, you already know Ross Chastain doesn't hide what he's thinking. After the race, he made it crystal clear he felt that move crossed the line. Chastain said hard racing is part of NASCAR, especially at a place like Phoenix, but in his view, that move wasn't just aggressive. He felt it crossed over into outright irresponsibility. He said it put several drivers in a terrible position. It ruined multiple teams' days, and he even suggested NASCAR should take a serious look at it. And Ross wasn't the only one who was mad. Allmendinger also talked about the crash afterward, and his issues centered on something drivers care about a lot: awareness and respect on the racetrack. According to Allmendinger, everybody out there is fighting for position. That's NASCAR. That's normal. But he said there still has to be a baseline level of respect, especially when the field is stacked up in heavy traffic. His point was simple. When you throw an aggressive move in a situation like that, you're putting a whole bunch of cars at risk, not just your own. And clearly that's exactly what happened, because this wasn't some small two-car scuffle. This was the kind of wreck that ripples through the pack and leaves multiple teams in the garage shaking their heads. Drivers like Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and Josh Berry all paid the price when their cars got caught up in it. And inside the garage after the race, several teams were reportedly already pushing NASCAR officials to take a closer look at the incident. Now here's the key part. As of right now, NASCAR hasn't announced any disciplinary action against Joey Logano. There's been no penalty, no official ruling yet, but officials did confirm the crash will be reviewed as part of NASCAR's standard post-race evaluation process. That review includes in-car data, video angles, and what spotters and officials saw in real time. And if you've watched this sport long enough, you know that doesn't automatically mean a penalty is coming. Sometimes NASCAR reviews stuff like this and decides it was just hard, aggressive racing. But the reason this story is getting so much attention is because of how many drivers got involved and how strong some of the reactions have been. When multiple drivers start publicly calling for NASCAR to review a move, that's when things get interesting. And with emotions still running high in the garage, this Phoenix crash is almost guaranteed to be a huge talking point heading into the next NASCAR Cup Series race. Now, while all that drama was unfolding on the track and in the garage, there's another storyline fans need to keep an eye on. Because the NASCAR Cup Series point standings just updated after the Straight Talk Wireless 500 at Phoenix, and the championship picture is starting to come into focus. Even with all the chaos, Tyler Reich is still leading the NASCAR Cup Series point standings. Reich finished 8th at Phoenix, which snapped his 3-race winning streak. But even without the win this time, his consistency has kept him locked at the top with 225 points. And here's the wild part. He's sitting on a huge cushion. Reich is 127 points ahead of 17th place, and that tells you just how strong his start to the season has been. But the biggest jump in the standings came from the race winner. Ryan Blaney held off Christopher Bell to win at Phoenix, and that victory pushed Blaney up to 2nd in the overall Cup Series standings. Behind him, Bubba Wallace is currently 3rd, followed by Chase Elliott in 4th. Shane Van Gisbergen is 5th right now, which is honestly one of the most interesting storylines of the season so far. Christopher Bell and Joey Logano are sitting with the same points margin as well, which shows just how tight the fight is in that part of the standings. Then you've got Michael McDowell and Chris Bucker right there in the mix, followed by Kyle Larson inside the top 10. William Byron sits just outside that group, along with Denny Hamlin, AJ Allmendinger, Carson H. Avar, Ty Gibbs, and Brad Keselowski, rounding out the top 16 spots that currently sit above the playoff cut line. Right now, Daniel Suarez is just outside the cut line, only 2 points behind 16th place, and that shows you how tight this battle already is, even early in the season. And then the drivers trying to climb back toward the playoffs include Ryan Preece, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Ty Dillon, John Hunter Nychek, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Austin Senrich, Josh Berry, Cody Ware, Chase Briscoe, Connor Zilisch, Cole Custer, and Alex Bowman further down the standings. Now, the reason this matters is because even though we're still early, points like these stack up fast. One bad race here, one wreck there, and suddenly, drivers are chasing the playoff cut line way earlier than they planned. And when you combine that with controversial moments like the Phoenix crash, you start to see how quickly a season can swing. Because one aggressive move can ruin a race, and one ruined race can shake up the entire points battle. So coming out of Phoenix, NASCAR fans are staring at 2 huge storylines. First, the controversy around the crash involving Joey Logano, a move several drivers believe crossed the line, and one teams want NASCAR to review closely. And second, the championship picture forming, with Tyler Reich still leading, Ryan Blaney jumping up after his Phoenix win, and the fight around the playoff cut line already getting tight. And honestly, that's what makes this sport so addictive. Every race changes something. One moment can light a rivalry in the garage, and one finish can reshape the championship battle. And with drivers still clearly frustrated after Phoenix, don't be shocked if that tension carries over into the next race, especially if these guys end up racing each other hard again. Because when emotions are running high in the NASCAR garage, things can get very interesting, very quickly. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think that move at Phoenix crossed the line? Or was it just hard NASCAR racing? And looking at the standings right now, do you think Tyler Reich can keep this points lead? Or is someone like Ryan Blaney about to take control of this championship fight? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I always love hearing what other NASCAR fans think about moments like this. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to NASCAR Racing Report. The channel is brand new, and we're trying to reach our first goal of 3,000 subscribers. So if you're a real NASCAR fan who enjoys honest conversation about the sport, stick around, because there's a lot more NASCAR coming here.